Senhora de Ribeira, literally Lady of the River, is named after the small chapel that has stood for centuries in this remote and wild part of the Douro Valley, marking an old strategic river crossing. The Symington family have farmed Senhora de Ribeira for 5 generations and have a special affinity with this far-flung corner of this region. Our family's in-depth knowledge of the vineyard is reflected in the extraordinary wines crafted here, and they're released in between classic Dow's vintage declarations, unblended as Senhora de Ribeira Vintage Port. Older members of the family remember that travelling up here was quite an adventure. There were no roads, and they came up by train to Quinta do Vesúvio, crossing the river to Senhora de Ribeira by boat. This is the hottest and driest area of the Douro Valley, the Douro Superior. The schist soils and the challenging climate result in very low yields, some of the lowest of any wine-producing region anywhere. Lying on the north bank of the River Douro, Senhora de Ribeira is mainly south-facing. The late-ripening Touriga Franca thrives in abundant sunshine and is particularly suited to this southerly orientation. The finest Touriga Franca parcels surround the house and winery, quite close to the riverbank, where they're known as the Pedreira vineyards. The other fundamental component of Senhora de Ribeira Vintage Port is the Touriga Nacional, which benefits from being planted in cooler east-facing aspect. These parcels are known as the Vinha Grande, 2 steep slopes of vineyard terraces behind the house rising to 400 metres. The cooler conditions provided by aspect and altitude are crucial in preserving the acidity that gives Senhora de Ribeira wines freshness, balance and staying power. For its good level of acidity, we have increasingly used a small Suzanne component, sometimes co-fermented with Alicante Boucher, for the deep colour that both offer. The wines are made at the property's on-site specialist winery, where small batches of grapes are trodden and fermented in modern lagars. Though a small vineyard, due to its topography, altitude variations, climate and soil, Senhora de Ribeira produces wines that combine intensity, concentration and freshness. These features are at the heart of Senhora de Ribeira's well-structured and beautifully aromatic wines, whose superb freshness give the wines balance and poise. Famous for being one of the 2 principal estates that make up the legendary Dow's Vintage Ports, Senhora de Ribeira is also renowned for producing magnificent Quinta vintage ports.